Hello and welcome to the Aunty Lisa show. Boom. Yeah. Right. What should we do a story about today? Let's see. What? Who put them in there? Stephen, Suzy and Willow. That's Auntie Suzy and Uncle Stephen to you guys. Captain BlackPaw, the most dastardly dog pirate ghost of the seven seas. We all live in fear of him. Oi, Superman. Nice. Bag number 2. We have Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa. Yes. And an Ankylosaurus. And let's have one more for good measure. Oh no, I picked out 2. Oh god. Oh, what? No. Nanny and GugGug. Jeez. Story gets worse and worse. And a Stegosaurus. Okay. Right, let's see what else. Bag of random things. There's only got 1, 2, 3, 4 things left in it. Hopefully it's something good. A map. Nice. What's that one? Places. Okay. Where shall we go? Somewhere with a slide. Okay. I feel like that's not super exciting. I'm going to bitterly regret picking out too many of these. And a river. Well, okay, they go together. That's fine. Blimey. One day, Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer decided to go on a little trip to dinosaur times. So, they called up their friend Andy, because Andy, as we know, has that magical clock that can go back in time. So I called up Andy and he agreed that it would be a super idea to take a little day trip jolly back to dinosaur times. And so they all packed a bag, and in that bag they packed such useful things as a compass and a penknife, actually. Very handy in an emergency, although not for small children. Aunty Lisa had that. And binoculars and a bug collecting kit just in case something interesting was creeping around on the floor. And they all met up with Andy at the Natural History Museum, and he said, "Whoa, hey guys, we're going to go back in time. We're going to see all sorts of dinosaurs today. Are you ready?" And Aunty Lisa said, "Yes!" And Aleksander said, "Yes!" And Kristoffer said, "Yes!" But then he said, "Hold on a minute. Who's that over there?" And they looked over and they said, "Whoa. I think that's Superman. In his daytime disguise when he's not saving the world." And Andy said, "That's not Superman. Don't be so stupid." And Aunty Lisa said, "That is Superman. Wait, I'll go over and talk to him." And she tapped Superman on the shoulder and she said, "Hey, Superman." And he went, "Shh, don't say that name here. I'm not Superman right now. I'm just looking at the dinosaurs." And Aunty Lisa said, "Hey, how about would you like to come on a secret trip that we've got? We're going back to dinosaur times." And Superman went, "Oh, that does sound exciting." Yes, okay. So Superman was on board with the idea of going on a trip back in time to dinosaur times. Now, an unusual thing happened at that point, which was that they had a quick phone call from somebody called Uncle Stephen. Uncle Stephen FaceTimed Aunty Lisa out of the blue. And she went, "Whoa, hey, Uncle Stephen, what you doing?" And Uncle Stephen said, "Well, we've just planned a last-minute trip to the UK. What are you guys up to?" And Aunty Lisa went, "What? You're coming to the UK?" And he went, "Well, actually, we're already here. Where are you?" And I went, "What? You're already here?" And Aunty Lisa said, "Well, we're at the Natural History Museum. You should come meet us." And Uncle Stephen said, "Oh, we've got Willow. Is that okay?" And Aunty Lisa said, "Of course that's okay. Just smuggle Willow the dog in under your coat. Nobody will notice." And so that's what Uncle Stephen did. Uncle Stephen, Auntie Suzy and Willow came rushing down to the Natural History Museum. And Aunty Lisa was like, "Oh my God!" And everyone was like, "Whoa, calm down, Auntie Lisa." And Auntie was like, "Oh my God!" And she gave Uncle Stephen the biggest, longest hug ever. And he was like, "You're done hugging me now. Fine." He loved it, really. And Auntie Suzy had a big hug. And everybody had a big hug. And Willow had a secret pat on the head. Because, Willow's not supposed to be in the Natural History Museum. And they said, "Hey, what are you guys up to? Who's your new friend?" And Auntie Lisa went, "It's Superman. And this is Andy." And they said, "What? Oh, Andy? Off of Andy's Prehistoric Adventures?" And Auntie Lisa said, Yeah. And Superman was like, "Shh, stop telling people I'm Superman." And Auntie Lisa said, "Sorry, I'm just really proud that I know Superman. So exciting." And Stephen and Sue said, "Well, what are you guys up to?" And Auntie Lisa went, "No, well, we were just looking at the dinosaur bones." And Andy chipped in and said, "And we're going back in time. Do you want to come too?" And Stephen and Suzy, also known collectively as Suzy, went, "What? Dinosaur times? Are you crazy?" And Aleksander said, "Well, actually, we're not crazy because we've been back to dinosaur times quite a few times now." And Suzy said, "I don't think that sounds like a very safe idea, Auntie Lisa." And Auntie Lisa said, "That's a fair point. So far, so good. No one's been eaten." And Suzy said, "That sounds all right then. So, shall we all go back in time to dinosaur times?" And Auntie Lisa said, "Well, okay." And Stephen said, teeny tiny problem. Nanny and GugGug are over there. I'm not sure they're on board with this plan." And Auntie Lisa said, True. Oh dear. They're going to be super cross if they know we've been going back in time to dinosaur times. It's not the kind of activity that Nanny will think is safe." So she said, "Well, what we could do..." Oh, wait, they're coming over. "Hi!" And over they came. Oh, they'd picked Stephen and Suzy up at the airport, of course, and Willow. And they said, "Oh, fancy seeing you here at the Natural History Museum. Did you know Mummy and Papa are just in the gift shop?" And Auntie Lisa went, "Everybody's here. We are in trouble." And Andy said, "What was the problem?" "We're going back in time, Nanny and GugGug." And Nanny and GugGug went, "Bah! You're not going back in time. You mean you're looking at all the different things? You're not going back in time. That would be crazy." And Andy said, "We'll just see about that." And Auntie Lisa went, "Oh no, this could go horribly wrong." Then, before you knew it, Mummy and Papa arrived. Suddenly, a small outing to prehistoric times had become a huge outing to prehistoric times. This was going to be complicated. So, Andy was still well up for going on a field trip back to dinosaur times. And Auntie Lisa thought, well, now is as good a time as any to confess that we have in fact been travelling back and forward to dinosaur times quite a few times now. And so she explained everything to Mummy and Papa and Nanny and GugGug. And they said, are you sure about this, Lisa? It doesn't sound very good idea, really, does it? You could get eaten. And Auntie Lisa said, yeah, you make very good points. But going back in time to dinosaur times is literally the most educational experience that I could ever give my nephews. And I think education is super important. And they all said, well, that's a very good point. Well explained. Let's all go back to dinosaur times today. So, everybody went up the stairs. That's not how we walk. Up the stairs. Willow still tucked under Uncle Stephen's coat, by the way. She's being very well behaved. And they went to the clock. And Andy said, right, guys, when we go back to dinosaur times, you've all got to promise to stick together, okay? Now, I've sketched out this brief map of the area that I think we should go to. GugGug was extremely interested in the map. And he said, so we'll hold on to the map, okay? And then we can go and see the different dinosaurs on the map. All right, everybody happy? Right, and the clock went dung, 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 dung. And they all went whoop through the magical clock all together and landed in a massive heap on the floor in dinosaur times with a huge crash. And GugGug was really cross because everyone had landed on top of him. He went, get off me, you cretins! Ah, it's so hot here. Nobody told me it was going to be hot. Ugh. Has anyone brought a hat? I didn't bring my hat. Nanny had brought a hat. Here you go, Chris, she said. And GugGug put his hat on. And he felt a bit better, though not entirely happy. And Andy said, right, time to explore. Who's got the map? And Auntie Lisa said, I thought you had the map. And Aleksander said, I thought you had the map. And Kristoffer said, I thought you had the map. And Superman said, I thought you guys all had the map. Oh, no. Papa and Mummy didn't have the map, and nor did Nanny and GugGug. They said, well, we'll be fine. What could go wrong? Let's go exploring. And so off they went through the dusty terrain of dinosaur times. The sun was beating down on their heads, and the land was really dry and barren. And they were like, oh, this is super hot era of dinosaur times. Hope we can find some water soon. Ugh, I'm going to melt. And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, we're not. We've got our drinks. And Auntie Lisa also had hers. No one else was prepared because they hadn't planned to go back to dinosaur times today. Anyway, so GugGug took the lead. Of course he did. The man is a walking map. So off we strode in dinosaur times. And before long, everybody arrived at a riverbank. And I went, yes, a river, finally we can cool off from this amazing heat. And Andy said, be careful though. The river monsters in dinosaur times are even bigger and scarier than the crocodiles now. And Auntie said, very good point. I'll just check if I can see any. Nope, I think we're good. And he said, well, how are we going to get down there? And they looked, and it was a really steep slope. They went, I just don't know how we're going to get down without even falling in. And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, we know. And you know what they did? Well, I'll tell you. They made a slide out of a ginormous, enormous leaf that they found. And they put the leaf at the top of the slopey bit of the bank of the river, and they went whee down into the water below. and water flew up everywhere and splashed everybody. And Mummy and Papa were like, oh, we're all wet now. And GugGug went, oh, although that is cooling, thank you. So then everybody went down the big, enormous slide into the river, and they were all having the most amazing time in the river when suddenly they heard a rumbling, and they went, oh, what's that rumbling noise? Uh-oh. And do you know what it was? It was an earthquake. And the earthquake had caused the clock and everything to fall downhill into the river where everybody was playing. And they went, no, not the clock, not the clock. We mustn't lose the clock. And they all quickly swam over to the clock and grabbed hold of it. But still, because the earthquake had moved loads of rubble and stuff like that, the river was flowing super fast now. And so everybody held onto the clock as they swooped down the river super fast. On their way down the river, they saw loads of cool dinosaurs, but they were a bit too scared to properly enjoy it. For example, they saw some Stegosauruses running super fast away from the earthquake. And they saw an Ankylosaurus that was bashing a T-Rex in the face with his giant bashing tail. And the T-Rex was like, ow, ow, ow. And the Ankylosaurus was like, take that, you, take that. And everyone went, pretty cool. Nice job, Ankylosaurus. But it was too fast. Everyone flew down. And they saw pteranodons flying overhead. And they saw some little tiny dinosaurs skittering along. And they saw a Stegosaurus that got his foot stuck in a hole. Luckily, they also saw him get his foot out of the hole. Otherwise, that would be another story. Anyway, down and down and down and down and down the river they went until it came out into the sea. Uh-oh, because in the sea, as you and I know, there are some even scarier monsters. I call them monsters, but they are real things that existed in prehistoric times. And Andy knew this, that there were some sea dinosaurs that could have eaten them all up in one big gollop, and the clock as well. And he was like, you guys, hold on to the clock, hold on to the clock. We've got to keep our eyes peeled for those giant dinosaurs that live in the sea that can eat us in one big gollop. And GugGug went, Jesus Christ, what? Giant dinosaurs are going to eat us in the sea? Oh, I knew we shouldn't have come on this, Gilda, I said. And Nanny said, well, actually, I also thought it probably wasn't a very good idea. I mean, we really should have stayed at home today. Maybe we all could have just played in the garden or something. And Pappa said, oh, well, it'll be interesting to see this dinosaur. And Mummy said, no, it won't. It'll eat us. And Auntie Lisa said, oh, my goodness me, you guys, this is just crazy. And Aleksander and Kristoffer were still super enjoying their ride on the clock into the sea. And they were like, wee, yeah, woo, it's excited. And everyone went, you kids are crazy. Now, in that moment, Aleksander and Kristoffer looked down and they saw a very, very dark patch appearing below them in the sea. And the dark patch seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. And they said, hey, you guys, there's a dark patch down there in the sea. This could be not good. And Auntie Lee said, what dark patch? Oh, that dark patch that looks like it has enormous teeth. This could be incredibly bad. And everyone went, ah! Now, as luck would have it, they'd all forgotten that one of the people that they brought with them, in fact, was Superman. Now, he'd been keeping quiet. He'd actually been quite enjoying the trip, even though it was really super dramatic. And Superman suddenly remembered, wait a second, I can fly! What a silly Billy! And he, in the nick of time, as is often the way, he said, hey guys, hold on super tight to the clock, okay? And everyone grabbed hold of the clock as tightly as they could. And he just went, and he lifted the clock, and everybody holding on to it like, up into the sky. Up and up, just as the ginormous jaws of a prehistoric sea monster were like, yay! They just missed his feet. Just. And everyone went, ah! Because they were still dangling from the clock. Ah! It was a little bit terrifying. And Andy said, right, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to land somewhere because that clock is going to go dong, 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 and we need to be in front of it when it does that so we get back to the Natural History Museum at the right time, okay? So Superman said, right, okay, I think I can spot a little bit of land over there. I'll try and set us down on that island. And that is what he did. Gradually, he set down the clock and he tipped it the right way up. And everyone stood around in front of it all sopping wet and grumpy. Now the clock went dong, dong, dong. And everyone went through the clock and out the other side into current daytime. But something had gone wrong. Just a little tiny bit wrong. They were in current daytime. But because they'd moved the clock had also relocated in current daytime. That's right. And now the clock was not at the Natural History Museum. The clock was in the middle of the sea. In fact, it was very low down in the sea. Or high up in the sea. It was in the sea somewhere. And they all came out like... And do you know who they saw? Which made the day a little bit worse. Captain BlackPaw. And Captain BlackPaw was not impressed at all that 10 people or so thereabouts, I don't know, it felt like that, and a dog. In fact, Stephen and Suzy, they haven't said anything for ages. Sorry, Stephen and Suzy. Had just appeared in the water, in the sea. And Captain BlackPaw went, "Arr, you scurvy sea landlubbers! What be you doing with this ginormous timepiece trying to attack my ship?" And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, and everyone else went, and Captain BlackPaw went, "I'll eat you for dinners." That's right. He is the most scariest ghost pirate dog in the whole history of the world. Everyone was super scared and also pretty upset that they were under the water and couldn't breathe. But then, thank goodness, someone we forgot about for a little while in this story came to the rescue. And that somebody was Willow. Willow had become dislodged from under Uncle Stephen's coat, and she launched herself at Captain BlackPaw like this. Or more bubbly than that. And Captain BlackPaw went, "Fine. Ye be having your own troubles with your scurvy doggy. I'll be going now." And he disappeared off into the murky depths. And then everyone went, "Ooh." And they realised they weren't that far under the water. And they went, just got to the top of the sea. Luckily, the clock floated. They all held on to the clock. And they said, okay, how are we going to get back to land? This is a bit of an issue. And Uncle Stephen said, hold on a minute. I think my phone still works. And Alexander and Kristoffer went, oh, brilliant, we'll call the Octonauts. And so they borrowed Uncle Stephen's phone. Hello, Captain Barnacles. Captain Barnacles, who's this number? Oh, hello, Alexander and Kristoffer. Yep, what's up? And they explained that they were stuck in the middle of the sea, clinging onto a giant clock. And Captain Barnacles, when he'd stopped laughing, said, okay, we will come and rescue you. Not a problem for you guys. We'll always rescue people in need. And that's what they did. Luckily, they were quite nearby. They popped up their little octopod and rescued everybody. Well, it was quite a busy day. And then, to celebrate, when they made it back to land, everybody had a very nice cup of tea and a sit down and some cake, which cheered everybody up, especially GugGug, no end. And that is the end of the story. I love you. Bye bye.